was trying to decide what I was going to do for high school, personally, Loyola High School was as far from my mind as anything. I had never even heard of the school. I was a hoop junkie. That is what it is. I mean, from 10 years on, I wanted to play basketball. It's what, made my heart pitter-patter. My dad said, no, you're going to go take a test.
I started looking at the list of students and where they were going to school. It said 96% of the students of Loyola will attend four-year schools. It then became no question to me.
I told my dad, I said, we got to meet the basketball coach.
I started talking about the motto of the Man for Others, the academic standing, the varied co-curricular program.
For lack of a better term, it was a yawner, and I was not fired up.
His dad leans forward and goes, I got to tell you, Coach, you're killing me. This guy simply wants to play basketball. That's all he's thinking about in his life, and you're not saying a word about basketball.
I tried every rational way I could get to not go to Loyola, and he just had this foresight. I thank Pops, because he was 100% right.
First game I recall of Jamal's time, he's a senior. We got an at-large berth to the state tournament. We play the #1 seed, Long Beach Poly.
And we play 31 minutes and 10 seconds of inspired basketball. But we're up 10 points with 50 seconds to go. Feeling really good about maybe one of the great upsets, in a state tournament history.
Long Beach State calls timeout. Our guys aren't quite celebrating, but they feel pretty good about themselves. And I tell them in the huddle, we need one more stop. We get one stop, and they won't be able to catch us. If it's a rebound, you go up and snatch everything out of the air. Everything's got to be yours now. We come back on the floor, they kind of panic, and they take a shot that's got to be 30 feet away. That's going to be 4 feet short. And Jamal, great guy that he was, listening to the coach, goes up and rips this thing out of the air.
And the ref calls a goaltending on a three-point shot. And over the next 50 seconds, if we could mess it up, we did.
It comes down to where they end up tying us with like 6 seconds to go. Take a shot with about 3 seconds. We miss. Jamal goes up for the rebound, right in front of him, grabs it, nobody near him.
I could have just dunked it, the buzzer goes off, and we get a W. But I lay it up, and it circles the rim as the buzzer 2-1. And it's sitting on the rim. The horn's going off. It's sitting on the rim, and it's circling, and it falls off.
We go into overtime and lose by 6.
And I just remember, collapsing in the locker room and crying my eyes out. And even as a senior, my dad was bringing me to school, dropped me off in a circle, and hugs, back slaps. We're proud of you. We love you guys. This cocoon of love on campus was unbelievable. I felt 10 feet tall. I knew that at Loyola, if you gave it your all, that you were going to be cared for unconditionally. And that rang true for the rest of my life. So at the end of that basketball season, a lot of great things happened to me. From there, I went to Columbia. I was fortunate enough to be a 4-year basketball player, 3-year starter, all-Ivy selection. I decided to take an offer to go work for Merrill Lynch and started my career on the Wall Street. And immediately when I got back to LA, the basketball program, Coach Thomason had retired. He asked me to become part of staff, and on a very limited basis, I started coaching. Pam and I had 2 children, and we were raising our kids in LA, but I was making a ton of money, and life was great. And it's at the same time in my life, I'm really dissatisfied. I worked on the street for 11 years and probably went through 12 alarm clocks, quite honestly. There would be days where I hated my job so much that, I bounced a few alarm clocks off the wall at 3:30 in the morning.
His brother, Kenan, was a Loyola High graduate in '94, also played basketball while I was the coach. Just like Jamal, an incredible young man.
My little brother has gone from here to Penn, to Wharton, to becoming a tycoon in the industry. So he's got the world by the tail. And about a year after his wedding, he calls me, and I'm sitting on my desk at UBS downtown, and he's crying. And I'm like, dog, what's wrong? And he goes, Jamal, over the last couple of weeks, I've been going to see a doctor. I've been having some issues sleeping. I can't close my eye. They're saying my eyelid's not closing all the way. They've done some tests, and he's diagnosed with sarcoma cancer. He's got a brain tumor. And I'm sitting in the office, and I'm trying to This news is just, it's devastating to say the least. And then I kind of like the big brother, the loyal guy. I'm like, oh, are you gonna beat this? What do we gotta do? What's the next step? Have some more tests, and ultimately he has to have a surgery. And it's a pretty difficult surgery, but we think he's kind of out of the woods, and the tumor grows back. And then Jimmy Williamson, who was the coach at the time, the head coach at Loyola at the time, decided he was gonna take another job. My dream always was to go make a bunch of money on the street and at 45 retire and come back and teach and coach at Loyola. However, now I'm 32, and this place was calling me daily. I was frustrated the days I couldn't get here and coach. I call him my number one person in my life. He was had just finished a chemotherapy. He's laying in the bed, according to my father. I go through probably a 10-minute spiel, this is what I'm thinking about applying, but I can't afford it, and what's Pam gonna do, and the kids. And he doesn't say anything for 15 seconds or 20 seconds, and I honestly think, at first I'm like, man, he fell asleep on me. He's tired from chemo, and he very, in a whisper, it's like, what are you thinking? This is what you were made to do. This is what you are made to do. You're supposed to be a teacher and a coach. And I hung up the phone. I told Pam, I said, hey, Ken, this is what he said. And she goes, your brother's telling you 100% the truth. She goes, I'll get a job. This is what you're supposed to do. And you need to call Bill and tell him that not only are you gonna apply for a coaching job, but you wanna teach as well. Quite honestly, one of my prouder moments. I honestly can say I'm not using an alarm clock since I became a teacher and a coach at Loyola. I pop up at 6, whatever it is, and I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to get to campus, I'm ready to teach, I'm ready to coach. I'm ready to be a part of this community.
He's been more important off the court than on the court because he's really showed me what it takes to be successful and how to be a great man.
He's such an unselfish individual, is always willing to help people out and cares more about people that he's associated with sometimes than himself.
He's had some of the greatest successes that Loyola basketball has had ever since I've been here, to the point where 2 years ago he received recognition as a National Coach of the Year. Jamal is a man for others. He understands that so well that that's become his life's ambition, his life's mission.
Obviously, as his father, I am one of his biggest supporters, but I'm also one of his biggest admirers. I think that his brother would say to him, boy, you've done me proud.
I want to be the best coach and mentor I could be, because I know these boys are going to then go and change the world. Being awarded for, being a Cub, and it's stamped on my heart. A Cub till they put me in a box. I can't believe a kid that did not want to be here can't live without it. Can't live without this place.